You know, every artifact or relic that you find is an interesting piece, tells an interesting story about the past, whether it be something from a very historical event, a battlefield, or whether it be just a common everyday item. Everything has a story to tell. To me, some of the rarest artifacts that I've found have been bone and antler. The many years that I worked up in Oscoda on different sites with my ex-wife Kathy and my dear friend Jerry Wagner, found no antler artifacts. Found only fragmentary bone from the remains of meals, ancient meals, but nothing that had been formed into tools or anything of that nature. Down here in Saginaw, it is a different story altogether. I have found a significant number of bone and antler pieces. And I've showed you some of those, but soon I'll do a video recapping those. But the one thing that remained elusive was anything wooden. Wood decomposes quickly, so it has to be preserved under certain specific conditions, something that will block out the bacteria and things that would decay the wood. Now, a few weeks back, more like a month, I showed you a piece, this one in particular, that I found in a roadway construction. It was a particularly nasty, windy, rainy night, and this was in clay and had been exposed. I claimed at the time that it was a dagger, that it had been indeed whittled down, and you can actually see whittle marks on the piece. And I still believe that it was used as a dagger. However, I don't think that's what its original use was at this point, because I got an email, or not an email, but a comment on that video from a gentleman out on the East Coast that deals with artifacts and deals with rare artifacts. And he suggested that this was part of a bow, and that it had been repurposed after the bow had broken, perhaps. Now, I can see what he was saying, because, you know, showing you some pictures, the bow is, you know, arched, and in the center has a place to hold it and draw back, which I believe that this was part of that. I don't know what you call that area of the bow, but I believe that was part of it. And I believe that it was broken. And instead of just disposing of it, I believe it was repurposed, whittled down into this point. Now, was it used as a dagger? You know, that's anybody's guess, really. I believe that it was. I'm not sure what else it could have been used for. I'm sure there's many other things it could have been used for. But I believe that it was part of a bow because, and I think the likelihood of it being correct on that is pretty high. That makes this one of the more rare artifacts I've ever found. Certainly the only wooden artifact from ancient times that I've found. What time period would it be from? That's not exactly very easy to say, but it could be early historic times, or it could be pre-contact. I tend to believe that it was pre-contact. However, it was found in an area where there was a trading post early on in Saginaw's history, and where Native Americans had gathered in that area for the signing of the Treaty of Saginaw in 1819. And so it could be of that era, but I tend to believe that it was probably earlier than that. But even if it was from that era, 1819, it would still be a spectacular find, and one that I'm very honored that the Mother Earth gave up to me. And I hope that you've enjoyed taking a look at it. I would love to hear your opinion on it. Again, artifacts of this rarity almost like make my fingers tingle when I pick them up because they are so obscure. It is definitely a one-of-a-kind piece. We know a lot more about the arrows because there have been thousands of different types of arrows, arrowheads, and spear points found. Myself, between Oscoda and Saginaw, I have probably found maybe 40 or 50 different types of arrows and spear points, and they're fairly easy to date, but without using carbon-14 or something similar, this would be hard to ascertain a close date on. Anyways, I just wanted to show that to you again. Let's take another look at that tip where the whittle marks are. The whittle marks possibly done by ancient man. And so let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd really very much like to hear what you think on it. Well, have a great rest of your day. God bless you. I love you all on the other side of that monitor, and I will be back with you again real soon. God bless.